Deadpool 2 is an ambitious sequel directed by David Leitch that significantly expands the universe established in the first film through more complex narratives about family, sacrifice, and redemption. Released in 2018, the film maintains the irreverent humor and graphic violence that defined the original while exploring deeper themes of fatherhood, loss, and the possibility of personal change. The narrative focuses on Wade Wilson's evolution from a loner anti-hero to a reluctant father figure, using time travel and team building as vehicles for genuine emotional development. The story begins 2 years after the events of the first film, showing Deadpool established as an international vigilante who eliminates criminals around the world with Vanessa as his emotional anchor. Their relationship has evolved into domestic stability where they discuss starting a family of their own, with Vanessa expressing a desire for children while Wade remains hesitant due to his responsibilities as a mercenary and uncertainties about his parenting abilities. This dynamic establishes the film's central theme of finding purpose through the protection and guidance of others. The tragedy that catalyzes all subsequent action occurs when Wade fails to completely eliminate a target during a mission, allowing surviving criminals to track his home location. During a vengeful attack on his apartment, Vanessa is killed by a stray bullet intended for Wade himself. This devastating death not only shatters Deadpool's emotional world, but also forces him to confront the direct consequences of his violent choices on the people he loves most. Wade's grief manifests itself through elaborate and creatively destructive suicide attempts, including explosions that destroy his body but are thwarted by his regenerative healing factor. These sequences combine absurd physical comedy with genuine emotional anguish, demonstrating how humor often serves as a defense mechanism against unbearable psychological trauma. Colossus eventually intervenes and takes Wade to the X-Men mansion, offering him renewed purpose through heroic service. The mission that completely alters the narrative's trajectory comes when Deadpool accompanies Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead on a rescue operation involving Russell Collins, a teenage mutant known as Fire Fist. Russell possesses powerful but uncontrolled pyrokinetic abilities and is held in an abusive institution called the Essex Mutant Orphanage, run by staff who systematically torture children to suppress their supernatural abilities. Russell, played by Julian Dennison with a remarkable combination of vulnerability and rage, represents a younger, traumatized version of Wade. Both suffered institutional abuse that shaped their personalities through violence and rejection, creating parallels that Wade initially fails to recognize. When Russell explodes in righteous rage against his abusers, Wade makes the crucial mistake of attacking the child to protect the corrupt officials, resulting in both of them being imprisoned in a maximum-security mutant penitentiary. The Icebox prison is specifically designed to contain mutants through power-suppressing collars and a hostile environment where different criminal factions compete for dominance. Wade and Russell are separated into different prison populations, allowing Russell to be influenced by veteran criminals who fuel his thirst for revenge against those who wronged him. This physical separation symbolizes Wade's failure to fulfill his fatherly responsibilities when Russell most needs guidance and protection. The threat that forces Wade to decisive action materializes in the form of Cable, a time traveler from the future played by Josh Brolin in a performance that balances physical intimidation with compelling emotional motivation. Cable hails from the year 2070, where Russell, now known as the adult Fire Fist, has become a genocidal dictator responsible for the deaths of millions, including Cable's wife and daughter. Determined to prevent this apocalyptic future, Cable travels to the past specifically to assassinate Russell while he is still a vulnerable child. Cable's arrival forces Wade to choose between self-preservation and Russell's protection, a decision complicated by the knowledge that the child will eventually become a genocidal monster. Wade decides to protect Russell not because he believes in his innocence, but because he recognizes that killing children, regardless of their future potential, represents a moral line he cannot cross without becoming the kind of person he has always fought against. To confront Cable and his advanced futuristic technologies, Wade decides to form his own super team called X-Force through an elaborate recruitment process that parodies conventional team-building movies. The candidates include Domino, played by Zazie Beetz, whose superpower is simply constant good luck manifested through unlikely coincidences that always work in her favor. Peter W., a normal man without powers, applies for the job after seeing an ad in the newspaper, representing the average person among superheroes. Shatterstar, Zeitgeist, and Bedlam round out the team with varied abilities but eccentric personalities. X-Force's first mission results in a comical disaster, with nearly all the members dying in absurd accidents during a poorly planned skydive, leaving only Wade and Domino to complete Russell's rescue. This sequence simultaneously functions as elaborate physical comedy and commentary on the disposable nature of supporting characters in conventional action films. The final confrontation takes place on a moving train, where Russell plans to use his abilities to kill the orphanage's abusive director. An action Cable claims is the first step in his transformation into a future genocidal maniac. Wade must simultaneously protect Russell from Cable, prevent Russell from committing his first murder, and confront his own failings as a surrogate father figure. The physical battle between Wade and Cable is interspersed with moments of emotional development where Wade learns to express genuine vulnerability instead of hiding his pain through deflective humor. The resolution involves Wade literally putting himself in the line of fire to save Russell, suffering a mortal wound that temporarily neutralizes his healing factor due to a power-suppressing collar. This sacrifice demonstrates to Russell that someone finally considers him worthy of unconditional protection, breaking the cycle of abandonment and abuse that was turning him into a villain. This act of pure selflessness also allows Wade to finally forgive himself for Vanessa's death and find new purpose as a protector of vulnerable young people. Cable, witnessing fundamental change in the future through his temporal technologies, uses his final time travel charge to save Wade, establishing an alliance that transcends their initial differences. The conclusion suggests that true family is not determined by genetics but by a conscious choice to protect and guide those who need guidance, a theme that resonates through all the relationships established throughout the film.